the great halls of their house, there are assembled three who hope to one day be the world's greatest driving heroes. Created from the cosmic legends of the universe comes our team captain, the Vision Bill Fisher. There's soon to be Wonder Woman, Vicki Fisher. Our Captain Marvel and head flight trainee, Jennifer Scripchuk. And our Batman, master of tools, gadgets, and all things mechanical. Our mild-mannered soon-to-be billionaire, Alan Danvers. Their mission? To fight injustice, share what is right and wrong, to get you out of your house and come out racing with them, and serve all mankind. They are the Garage Heroes in Training Team.
Welcome to the Garage Heroes in Training Podcast. I'm going to be one of the hosts for this episode. My name is Bill. Who else is hosting?
I'm Vicki.
And I'm Jennifer.
You are. We did it. We're getting pretty good at this. We know our names.
Mm-hmm.
All right, ladies. I don't get to talk pretty much this episode because this was our ladies race recap from Thompson 2021. How?
Like, say it, Vic.
Chargagagagment, chargagaga, chabunagungamak.
Yours.
Or etc., etc., etc.
I just aspire. I aspire to be you.
Really should be higher.
Aim high. Yeah, aim way higher.
Aim high.
Aim high.
Aim higher.
That's right.
I mean, as a team, we aim for mediocrity. You really should be aiming a lot higher where we are.
That's right.
Okay. Ladies, we're going to have a second episode where we go over it with the rest of the team, but we had some scheduling issues. So we're going to go with a quick one here just to get everybody up to speed so nobody forgets everything. I believe since I was involved in race prep, at least packing, for the first time ever, our cars were not the problem. Is that?
Cars were not the problem this time.
No.
But we made up for it many, many other ways.
Yeah, with a complete collapse of everything.
Everything else.
Everything else.
Stuff we're good at. We screwed up.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Who wants the first nod that went the wrong direction?
We'll let Jennifer.
Jen, this one's you.
What am I talking about? Like what happened?
Yeah.
So, so I had made the food ahead of time, and there was a plan that I was going to come back and get the food and go back
to Delaware,
the RV, right? And but my husband's sister, who was supposed to come into town, got COVID. But she was coming in from Florida, so there's no surprise there.
Florida is as Florida does.
Florida is as Florida does. She's fine.
Can we blame Donnie on this somehow?
Yes.
I mean, I think we should. I don't know how. Donnie's
down there. Donnie.
Oh, yeah.
Donnie, what are you doing?
So anyway, we were kind of left just kind of fumbling at the end, trying to get all the food from Delaware to Pennsylvania to Connecticut in the Miata.
Jennifer's RV is the kitchen.
That was the kitchen. And
It's a
Jim wasn't going because his sister wasn't coming. And then we had to stay with Vicki and Bill. And it was a mess. It was a mess.
Yeah, Jennifer at one point was about to ready to break down in tears.
It was a mess. But not that it wasn't. It was a fun weekend.
Yes.
We had a great time. Truck ran great. But let me tell you, it was Plan B. Start Thursday.
D. Yeah. I mean, little by little, things were just ticking off. So it was, trying to get Bill to just roll with it, as much like every stay-at-home mom does. You just plan your day for 85% and hope for the best for the rest. So we had gone into many levels of A, B, C, D on our trip, but
I mean, it all worked out. Not perfectly, but it did. But that was just the beginning. I mean, it just didn't stop. But
I mean, from a high level, it worked out. From a individual activity level, it just wasn't our normal smooth.
No,
No, it wasn't.
I mean, basically, Jen was abandoned to Paddock for most of the weekend because she was solo mio in a place that doesn't have all her stuff.
And Thompson itself is very broken apart. So if you have a garage, which we weren't able to have the trailer nearby. We can only have the car trailer there, and it made it very difficult to get paddock to garage, and that's where Jennifer spent her time. Normally, she would be right there. So.
Right, and then the air conditioning and
the air conditioning issue. That was our issue.
Generator
it was,
issue.
But it was just, it was just one of the things that added to like the take one step forward, three back.
Well, I mean, we were able to charge 2 iPhones at the same time, but anything more than that.
Right.
Yeah. I mean, it was.
I mean, thank goodness that I did a lot of the prep beforehand, but
the trailer kitchen didn't work. I mean,
right, the outdoor kitchen, right,
which we kind of live out of. So,
and it was just a multitude of little things, that I think if it had just been just one thing, it would have been fine. But
what did our mom always say? Anybody can handle a crisis. It's a day-to-day living and day-to-day stuff that breaks you.
Right.
We're great at
it's
a crisis.
Perfect example of that.
Yeah, we're great at a crisis.
So since the ladies were going to be doing all the racing, I apparently, at least in the view of one person, I decided to make up for it on the way to the track.
Oh yeah, Bill,
that's right.
Yeah, Bill got pulled over for doing 90, which our truck cannot do 90. So
nope.
Go ahead, Bill. Tell him that story.
I'd be scared beyond oh my goodness. Anyway, so I'm coming down 84, well, across 84, I guess it's geometrically correct. And the cop pulls out behind me and pulls me over and says, "Hey, license, registration, normal stuff." He's like, talking to me, and I'm like, why are we here? And he's like, "Well, I clocked you doing 90." And I'm like, I can't do 90. I mean, I physically can't do 90 in this truck. I've got a car. I've got the truck. I think we brought 24 tires this weekend. I've got a race truck. I've got thousands of pounds of tools and spares and tents and a truck and a car trailer behind me. I physically can't do 90. And he's like, "Well, I clocked you doing 90." And I'm like,
and he's like, "I can drive my RV at 90. And he's like, "I can't."
I know. I physically can. I mean, I was one step away from saying to the officer, "Here, take my keys. I'll hang out here. You go try and do 90 in this truck, and you tell me how it goes." And so he's like, well, of course you can do 90. I do 90 with my RV behind the truck all the time, which I obviously should have given him a ticket, but I didn't think he was in the mood for my joke. So anyway, he's like, "What, you were doing 90?" And I'm like, he's like, "You were passing the truck." And I said, "Okay, I may have been passing the truck, but I wasn't doing 90. I can't do 90. I had it locked in at 75, and going uphill, I'm probably doing 72, and downhill, I may get up to a whopping like 77. But anything above 80 with the trailer, the truck is not happy. So I don't do 80. I just lock it in at 75 and goes. And he's like, "Well, if you were doing 75, we wouldn't have been talking right now." And I said, "I wasn't planning on talking to you, sir." Why it was
all of this before we even got to the track.
Got to the track.
Yeah, so it was one of those prep weekends. Anyway, we got there Thursday. Let's go to fun stuff.
Yeah.
So yes, I did get a ticket for 75, but whatever.
Yes, you did.
It's all good.
Yeah, we managed to go in there. Alan, pulled in around the shortly after. I think we had gotten everything set up. About an hour after we did.
6
hour
maybe.
and a half.
Something.
Yeah. So we ended up getting in there, getting a pretty decent spot, as best we can get in Thompson. Thompson, like I said, it's like shaped like a kidney, and it's kind of difficult.
It's a hot kidney, though, man.
Yeah, it is.
Anyway,
but we got in there. We were exhausted.
Prep.
Broken trailer.
Final prep.
Final prep was good. I would say our prep leaving the hangar was good.
We planned on practicing Friday with the ladies who Elizabeth hadn't been. Elizabeth hadn't been in our truck on track yet and hasn't been racing at a Lemons race for a while. And then Audra, this was her first race, so we wanted to have practice. They requested to have practice on Friday, which we probably would have skipped. How did practice go? Did we see anything?
Well, Audra initially started having a little bit of a panic attack getting in. And we did I remember we had one of our guests was on and he had something that resonated with me. He said, "You're not being strapped into a car. The car is being strapped onto you. So much like a backpack, you're being fitted with this car." And I think after that, she kind of relaxed. But we'll hear more from her when we do a breakdown of her experience.
She's not used to a closed face helmet.
No.
She was killing it in the end of the weekend, though.
Yes, she was. The girl was huffing it. Yeah. Can't wait to hear her breakdown.
No, that should be fun.
No.
Any issues with the truck on Thursday?
I didn't think so. I didn't think so.
We didn't run it very long either.
We didn't run it very long. We did have the ladies do a flat spot. So we addressed that issue and that was to be expected. Because they don't have to really worry about the brakes. They have ABS brakes when they're doing their stints with autocross. So it's just different. So
that was 4 tires down.
Yeah, definitely 4, but certainly 2. So that was fine. And the intermittent problem started to show up with the car. And we thought that we had addressed it. We were crawling around in it, asking a lot of questions.
The intermittent problem being?
The same thing that we experienced at NJMP, that there was something that kept cutting out.
And pit race.
And was it pit race? If it was pit race, it had just started. So it was definitely at NJMP in New Jersey where we were having an intermittent problem with our, the car powers down, the vehicle powers down, the race truck. And, we thought we had it. We thought we solved the issue. It was something that had to do with the ignition, I'm sure, but we weren't really sure about it. So, kind of brainstorming a little bit and brainstorming with the people in the know. They're like, well, I'm really thinking it's your fuel pump. But, it was sitting right on the edge. It was right on the edge of that. So we had...
What would you see as the issue? Like, what were the symptoms?
When we were driving, there was only certain parts on the track where it just felt like it was giving out, and then it would start it back up and it would be fine. I don't think it would cut out, but it would just, it would bog down, become boggy. And then it would be fine for a little while. And then, but it was so intermittent that we couldn't figure it out. So we had.
What other symptoms?
The best way I can really say is that Audra came in and said, "It feels like a fart."
That wasn't exactly the symptom I was going for.
But. No, but basically it was about the RPMs. The RPMs were about, anywhere between was it 28 to 3,500? It would start giving out, and then right after that, it would kick back in again. Mm-hmm. So,
what about the tachometer and the speedometer and everything?
Well, that's a whole separate issue. With that doesn't really have anything to do with that. But I mean, our issue that became later on was that our speedometer went wonky, and so did our tachometer. But they feed off of 2 separate things. The speedometer feeds off of the speed sensor, and I knew that was sketchy going in, but we didn't have the top part of the adapter to the speed sensor, the one that would click in. So it was kind of wired in, but it wasn't wired in properly. I don't know electronics to that. Thank you for Elazar for teaching me about it, but I knew what that issue was. The tachometer is a separate issue because it's soldered in that has a 3-point connection. So in order to find the source with the electrical gadget, I don't have the name for the gadget.
Meter.
the meter, it's not just testing one wire because it breaks off into three. So it might be that we might have to break apart that and then kind of rewire it and resolder. So that is an option. But regardless, that's separate from our intermittent problem. So we sent out a person who was on Glenn Farney's team, and they were brainstorming the whole thing. I'm like, can you drive it and figure out if you can? And what he was saying was that it especially happens when you load up the front of the car on a turn, you make the turn and then drive out, it started to become fine again. So
when you made a turn to the right.
Correct.
Yes.
A hard right. So, Bruce at that point, I mean, we were already started working on the fuel filter option. So we figured we'd just go ahead and do that. And at the same time, we had a leak with the oil cooler. So we replaced that while they were, kind of inside the engine, kind of poking around. We checked our gas lines to see if they were too close to the exhaust system or anywhere up in any kind of hot spot, just in case the gas was starting to get too hot, maybe boiling a little bit or something. So the exhaust system's on the other side of the car versus the gas line. So it's not that. And then we just discovered after Bruce stuck his head in there that the wire harness was tapped up against the engine.
Exhaust manifold.
Well, yeah, I don't think it was the exhaust manifold. I think it was up against there. So he said that it was touching and had taken the casing off of two of our important ignition wires. So we wrapped that up and sent it out, and we didn't have a problem with that again. So problem solved with the hiccup.
So you summarized 3 days, and we're still on Friday, but that's the whole story.
Yeah, that took place on, it appeared on Friday, but then it was solved on Saturday.
And Sunday.
Because no, we didn't have any issues on Sunday whatsoever with the truck. Sunday was a clean race for the truck.
You came in because of the dry front suspension, but
yes, I came in for the front suspension. That's a different issue.
Okay. All right. So Friday we did our trek. I think we got everybody out who wanted to go out.
Yeah.
I know Audra got out. I know Elizabeth got out, and those were the two. I don't think you two went out. Is that
No,
true?
I was out. No, we were both out.
On Friday?
Yep. We did the track walk.
Okay. Did you two drive on Friday?
Oh, no, we did not drive on Friday.
No, I don't think you did.
Wait a minute. No, I drove on Friday for a little bit. I took it out because I wasn't familiar with the track.
Oh,
so I did
okay.
take it out for a spin.
All right. I know Jen didn't get out. So.
I didn't know.
Okay. So we went through tech. How did tech go?
Tech went awesome.
Tech was good.
Tech was good.
Perhaps describe it a bit.
Well, yeah. We all dressed up in our costumes. So
You were
I was Wanda from WandaVision.
Jennifer.
Scarlet Witch.
You were.
It was hella.
I was Hella.
It was hella hot.
Hella hot. It was really hot out there. And then let me see. And
Bennett.
then Elizabeth Jolly was Harley Quinn. Bennett went out as President Loki, and he drove us because he was the only guy that would fit in that seat from our team.
And the surprise guest, Audra, showed up with her own costume.
She showed up with her own full costume. She was Manta.
I love her costume. It was awesome.
Oh my gosh, her costume was so cute. She popped out. She had the little lights on the tip of her mandibles. What are they? Antennas. Yep. She was adorable.
She was. And it's Mantis.
I told her, Mantis. I told her she had to have a Halloween party just so she can wear that costume again. It was just so cute.
It was quite good.
It was.
We made it through tech, car past tech.
Did.
What about BS
No
tech?
problem.
How'd we do?
Oh, we BS'd we BS'd our whole little hearts out just to get back in C class. And if we weren't choosing to win C class, that wasn't the goal. The goal was to see how we would compete in C class with the new drivers.
Okay.
But we weren't there to win. We didn't anticipate winning. So
we vowed to give it away if we were winning.
Absolutely. That's exactly what we were going to do, knowing that if we did win, that we had won was enough for us, but we weren't going to, do it. Was just because we had two new drivers that, one, I mean, like a Brandy new, never been wheel to wheel before.
And we were planning on lots of pit stops. So we were confident in our ability not to win. So it was
absolutely,
no loss.
Yeah.
So.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, track walk. Quack, quack.
Track walk. I like the track walk at Thompson because it's not really long.
Yeah.
It's just right.
It's mostly flat.
It's the right length. Yeah.
And I hadn't been there in a long time. And I was never there for a track walk. So I got a lot out of it to do the track walk. And after driving a few laps, when I got on, then I quickly saw the line and where they wanted me. I think I was on there one other time. I do remember them talking about the stars.
You track walked for sure.
Once. Yeah, I track walked once before, but at this point it actually resonated and I was able to really see where I wanted to be.
Which group are you guys in? Because I got sent out for parts.
We were with Chris.
Is it one group?
Chris
or two
and Jeff.
groups?
There was two groups that just kind of kept meshing back and forth. So
Jennifer, track walk worked for you?
Yeah, I like the track walk. It was a good track walk.
Okay.
I seem to get a little bit more out of them each time.
You should. That's why we do them every year.
Yeah.
I agree. All right. Saturday morning prep. How'd we do?
Good. Got everybody in, everybody fed.
We were out
early.
We were ready. Who knew?
We were ready early. Girls get crap done.
We were hoping that Alan's going to come on to the second one, so we're not going to do a lot of spider staying on this. But how was spider staying? Just overview.
Spider staying showed up broken, but
not broken, just not ready.
No, it wasn't ready. It was running, but it wasn't ready. So there was
needed a seat. Weird things like that.
Good pins. It needed to have the belts wrapped. But he really was kind of smart. Is that he knew that he wasn't ready, but he still ran through tech and had a quick list done. So he didn't have to play a guessing game on everything that he had to get done. So there was stuff that must be done, and there's stuff that we can work on through the race, and that's how he managed that. So he was a little bit late going out. They punted in the evening. They were just spent, but he had things like the seat. I know that it wasn't mounted to the floor. It wasn't mounted at all. And then he had to work on his, let me see. He didn't have the harnesses in for the seat. And then he had to go ahead and do something with the battery.
Yep. The battery was dead,
he needed his hood pins. Did it have a windshield?
Yeah, we put the windshield in at his house.
This one was a windshield. It had no windshield wiper, so he would have to go hardcore if it rained. So at least after that, I believe that they were problem solving through the weekend. I think the clutch went, and they quickly did a quick repair on that. I think they had a really bad oil leak, so they created an oil catch funnel in it. So, they were just
throttle cable too.
Yeah. So they were having, I think the clutch and the throttle cable or something was in that area that I might've been gotten them confused. So, but the car was running, and I think the car ran the entire time. It was in and out, but a lot, but they were problem solving and getting it back out on the track. And at least now that he has a better idea of what he needs to do to get it ready for Thompson. Not Thompson, but New Hampshire, which I believe he is going.
Here, so. I'm not sure we are, but we'll see.
Yeah.
Okay, so racing order Saturday. Saturday we started off. Saturday is a long day at Thompson. What do we start at 9?
Yes.
Yeah.
And then we go till 6:30.
Yeah, something.
Yeah.
Long day.
Long day. Racing order, we decided we'd get Vicki out there first for a traditional battle of the testosterone, and then we wanted to get Audra in for a short stint, just to get her used to it a little bit, and then have her have some time. And then Jen was going to go in, then Elizabeth was going to go in for a full stint, and then Vicki would go in for her full stint. And then Audra, we wanted to get her the checker. So that was the plan.
The initial plan.
It was always the
plan. Yeah. But it didn't. No.
Oh, we had some car issues. Is that what we're saying?
Yeah, we had some car issues. I ended up going out for the stint, and then at the end of my stint is when I started having the hiccup problems. Audra had gone out.
You were. It wasn't the end. It was early. I think it was like 40 minutes in, something like that.
Yeah, maybe. So I was running for a little bit for it, and then we ended up having to bring it in on Audra's stint. So she ended up going out for a little bit, came back in, and then we ended up having to work on the car. So she lost her stint. She was out for like maybe 20 minutes, I think, or half an hour.
It's not terrible.
So, no, it wasn't terrible, but I'm glad that she got a taste of it before, so she can process it and then get back in. So Jennifer went next, I believe.
Yes, she did.
And then Elizabeth went.
Yep. By then we had most of it fixed. We were leaking oil though, but we fixed that night.
Yeah.
And then you went out for shorter stint.
Did we put Audra back in?
Yes, Jen? We did. She got the end. If I remember right.
Yes, I think that I got the checker at the end of the day.
Did you?
Yeah, I got the checker.
Then we switched you and Audra.
Yeah.
She got in twice on Saturday.
Yeah.
So it's been a while. We missed last year at Thompson. It's been a while since we raced there. What were your feelings about the racetrack and the racing there again?
Jen?
I like Thompson a lot.
It was your first race.
It was my first race. But no, I like the track. I like there wasn't I didn't feel like there was a ton of cars there. Even though there was a lot of cars, it didn't feel like there was a lot of cars there. So, I mean, it was good. I liked it. I had a lot of fun.
Any favorite part to the track yet?
No, not really.
Any parts that were hard?
That really tight corner. What corner is that after?
1, 2, 3,
1, 2,
4.
3, 4. Yeah, 4. Four's a little tough because you got to go so slow or you spin and
you did
with traffic. Yeah. Yeah, Vicki, we'll get to you. Vicki was letting it all hang out. What about you, Miss Vicki? You haven't been there. You actually haven't been there in 3 years because you missed one with Mia. So, what's your thoughts on Thompson?
Yeah, you know what? Going in, I was amazed how small it was because I remember it being bigger. But
Short
maybe
or
that's
narrow.
Just longer. I thought it was longer.
So it was short. Okay.
Yeah. So I think that dawned on me, but it just seemed bigger, probably because it was one of our first tracks to do. So, but I kind of got the line, and after I kind of warmed up with the track and knew what to expect with the track, and the track walks so helped me a lot.
Thank you, 3 Pedal.
Thank you, 3 Pedal. Thank you, Jeff Wakeman also. So it was, I just ended up throwing that car around, and that corner that Jennifer was talking about, I never really went super slow through there. I just,
of course you didn't.
no, I learned on that to rotate the back end of the car around it, but I had to make sure that I wasn't rotating it in a way where I was losing traction. But
somebody else gets pretty bogged.
Yeah, going in is not too bad as much as the exit. The exit is really slippery because everybody is doing the same thing. So there's a lot of rubber buildup right there. And so I was able to kind of go through there. And actually that's where I kind of made some of my gains, because some of the slower cars were slowing, and either I would take them on the inside or I would try to come out. If I got on the outside, I was like, but because I was always Yeah. Well, I was really worried about hitting the candy stripes because right on the other side of that is just gravel. So it's just kind of like a drop off. So I was really trying to avoid that. So I kind of figured that if I just kind of spun it just right, I can kind of rotate the car around and kind of like get on it and then take off for under the bridge. And then the other part that I really liked is after coming through under the bridge, then you go around the part of the big track.
The oval.
What's that?
The oval.
Yeah, it's like this. Yeah, it's like the oval. And coming out of there, I mean, I was really trying to make sure that I was catching speed coming through there, and I was really hearing the tires. I remember following those little hot hatches, and their back tires were coming off of the back end of their car. I mean, like literally, it looked like they would only be riding like 3 wheels. It's cracking me up going through there.
They had to pee.
They did, right? So what I would do coming through there and going into the S's is where everything kind of starts to bottleneck a little bit. I would get my position on the way out of 4 under the bridge and then try to regain my position after the bowl to go into the S's. And I was looking for the big cars.
Mm-hmm.
So I was trying to wrestle for my position through there. And then I was stuffing the slower cars or the people that kept trying to not pass me, but they were really trying to aggressively pass me. I was stuffing them behind the big cars and I was trying to follow the trains on the way out. I was looking for the trains. If that's anything, I was trying to find the line and trying to find the fast train leaving out. And then I would just kind of move cars in behind the big, like Cordoba or something like that. And then I would take off with the train. So I can try to keep up with that and then trying to get my exit and onto the straightaway. And that's just how my whole game went, is just fighting for those positions, looking for the train on the way out and then booking it.
Okay. Then Saturday night, you stayed up way too late.
I did. On the car. Yeah. Yeah, there's that.
Way too late.
Way too late. Yeah. Well, there was a lot going on in the garage.
Yes, I'm wondering how much was working on the car and how much was not working on the car.
Yeah, well, there was a karaoke machine that they were using as a microphone, and they had their own version of the Olympics going on, so it was pretty good.
Because I left, and you're like, oh, I'm just going to work on one thing, and I'll be up in about a half an hour, and then several hours.
Well,
later.
Chris Abbott was out there. He was quite shiny.
He was, and when I left, he was.
Yeah,
yes,
he was. Yeah, he was quite shiny, and we were talking about racing, and we were talking about the teams and how far we've come. So it was a good conversation.
Mm-hmm. And we know you don't stop a conversation once it starts. So there's that.
There's that.
All right, Sunday, the ugly of the weekend for me. I don't know what it is about Thompson.
Yeah, you got your times messed up again.
I can't get the schedule straight. And I did the math on Saturday, and then Sunday morning I was tired. I did the math wrong, and I thought we had 6 hours divided by 4 drivers is an hour and a half. We only had 5 hours. So I kind of screwed Elizabeth a little bit. And I do apologize.
Elizabeth really had a really long stint on Saturday, I'm sorry. She was in there for like almost 2 hours, hour and a half or so. She was doing good. Audra, we had a clean weekend with the truck on Sunday.
Does that mean no black flags?
No black flags.
None, not one.
None.
So take a race car, pull out the testosterone, put in the all lady female team. No black flags. It's amazing how that happened.
No, Audra was doing amazing.
How many times did you guys have contact with other cars?
I had contact with one. Somebody else had contact because there's a mark on the door.
Anything about that.
I got dive bombed, I think, by a Miata. I remember it was a smaller car, and
always
I think
the answer.
He dove in 3 wide, and
to one.
I think it was the big brown Sanford and Son car, big one,
Yeah.
And he was on the inside. I was on the outside in the train in the S's, and he bumped me coming through, and he was trying to thread the needle is what he did. And he tapped me. So, and that was fine. You know, there was actually no damage. Maybe just a little dent, but it didn't really. And then somebody touched the car on the other side. And I don't know. Yeah, there's one on the driver's door, but we have spray paint now, so we can just paint over it and boop, boop.
All right, so Vicki got to go out, Jen got to go out, then Audra, then Elizabeth got to take the checker. Sunday went a whole lot better in terms of performance of the car. I think we only came in one time for a quick check, and Vicki being over sensitive.
Well, yeah. So what happened on my last stint on Saturday is that I just referred to it as a death wobble. And I know in NJMP that we threw shims and we ended up buckling. Well, you know what happens when you lose shims. That's what happened to the truck in NJMP.
What kind of shims?
So the shims that go into the control arm, they kind of do the camber and toe in.
Okay.
So I had this death wobble that was kind of going on, and just in my brain, I just kept thinking it's going to wobble something loose. I'm not sure if it's a flat spot. I'm not sure if it's a loose something on the hub, or if they're shims. And if they are shims and it's not the shims, and the shims are going to work their way loose with this wobble. So I just kept thinking about it. And that was Saturday. And then we found out that we threw the front set of shims on the driver's side control arm. The other ones looked like they were working their way out. So the girls had found that nut and bolting, which, by the way, they were amazing when they went into the garage and we were doling out jobs. I mean, the girls in the autocross, they know the tires, they know tire pressures. And, you know, I was showing them about the nut and bolting, and one of the girls that was visiting with their group said, I found this loose nut. And then I kind of felt in there and like, we have no shims. That was the death wobble. Of course, there was a little bit of flat spotting. I did check the hubs. They were fine. So we ended up.
There was much more than a little bit of flat spot. But.
Yeah. Well, no, not on the tires that were on that set. There was a little bit. Not bad, but enough to feel it, but not like thumping, just a little bit of a wobble. So we put the stack of shims back in. This time we drilled them and wired them, and we put them in and adjusted all the other shims just to make sure. And Elazar helped me with that. I had to have another arm for that. So we ended up getting that in, and I still felt the wobble, which I do believe that it was most likely a flat spot, but it wasn't as terrible as it was. So I had to bring it in, just double check to make sure everything was okay. I went back out right away afterwards, and then it was fine. So still had a wiggle a little bit, but we just kind of pushed it. And that was the only error that we had. I mean, that was it. It ran pretty well, except we were still down a tachometer.
Yes. Mm-hmm. Jen, how was your Sunday and the whole weekend since we're reaching?
It was good. I don't know if it was what Vicki was describing or what everybody else was feeling, but I only noticed a difference in second. So Saturday I just drove in third and fourth and it was fine. Sunday I drove in third and fourth and it was fine. So there you go.
Chris was afraid it was user error. Chris thought it might have been user error because we don't have a tachometer. The speedometer really wasn't working at that time. And you're right in between.
Yeah.
So an indicator.
Yeah. But it was fine. Like I just got to third and kept it there and did fourth and it was okay. And it ran like a dream.
Mm-hmm.
All right, ladies. Care to guess how we ended up?
I think we
middle of the pack.
Yes, we did. So the truck is not going to ever set any land speed records in spite of all our efforts to make it so. So out of 103 cars, we were the 88th fastest, meaning our fastest lap is we only beat like 20 cars.
It's not bad.
Less than. No, it's
88 to 100.
Yeah, we were in 88th place as far as speed goes. So that's not great.
Bad. It's not bad. Oh, wait a minute.
There's only 20 cars. Yeah, it's only.
Never mind.
Vicky's like, wait a minute, that is bad.
No, wait. That was
we
bad.
were faster than 15 cars.
Okay, yeah, that's bad. I was looking at the other end of the spectrum. So.
Yeah, you are the other end of the spectrum.
That was bad. Sorry.
This is the what is referred to in the math field as the post-race hangover. 88 out of 103.
So you're saying that we could do better?
No, I'm saying the truck is slow.
That's an F, Vic. That's an F, big fat F.
However,
so you're saying that there's still growth.
However, we came in 663, I think. Let me see. I got a typo here because I know that's not right. We are looking it up live. We came in just outside of our goal of 50%. We came in, I'm looking it up right here. Flip, because I know where we came in. It's just not looking right. Oh, this is done wrong. Anyway, so we came in just over our 50% goal, which isn't bad because we had a few extra stops. We gave away most of Saturday, or a good first 3 or 4 hours, and then we had some work to do. We did 336 laps total, which is not bad. We came in 6th in our class. That's not bad. And we did manage to beat Three Pedal Mafia's brand new car that they're still teething. In 2 days, we did 20 laps more than they did on Saturday. Wow. But remember, Saturday is a very long day. So
yes,
it's not like they're split in half. Spider Stang, slightly faster, came in 82nd, which that car should be a little bit faster. So Alan's got a little work to do there. And they came in 38th in class of 56. The class was huge. 56 cars in one class. It was amazing.
Wow. And that was class B?
B, yeah. I mean, they did 223 laps. So there was a joke going around with some of our friends that Alan thought the lap of Thompson included a stop in the garage every time he went around. He was in quite so often. So hopefully we'll get a chance to pick on him when he comes on, if we can corral the shiny squirrel. So ladies, our first ever ladies event only. Bill's not doing anything, just standing there, looking around, seeing what's going on. How did it go overall?
It was fun.
I think it was a successful weekend.
I do. I think Audra and Elizabeth both did extremely well, considering it's not something that they frequently do or ever do. I think they had a lot of fun. I had a lot of fun. It was fun. It was a great weekend. I'd do it again.
We came in, well, Jen, you do it again is kind of standard. We came in 57th, so we were aiming for 52. So close.
Mm-hmm.
And considering all the pit stops we did and some of the mechanical stuff, we did.
Yeah.
Miss Vicki, overall, how was the weekend?
I think that it was a very successful weekend. I was really excited to see how Audra was driving. I knew that Elizabeth would do well because she's already experienced Thompson, but I was really amazed at how well Audra did, and fighting that little bit of terror and exhilaration at the same time. I mean, it's a lot, and she did really good. I thought that their communication in the garage and the way that they helped out was very good and amazing. I mean, we had no conflict or issues within the garage. And I would say that it was a successful weekend, yeah.
What did we do better? Anything?
We managed that truck by ourselves. I mean, we had input. Okay. We had input and we had a couple extra hands, but we did not have anybody coming over there doing that work for us. Some people, with limit, I mean, it was difficult for some people just to to be hands off. I could tell they wanted to put their hands on that truck to come over and help, but they really let us do the majority of the work ourselves. They helped us brainstorm. The other teams, they helped us brainstorm, which was awesome. But for the most part, I did not have to rely on Alan, which is good because now Alan could focus on his car. I can focus on this car. We can ping pong and bounce off. But that was the biggest success for our weekend. I think it took a lot of stress out to know that there was 2 people working on cars instead of just one.
What do you think we could do better? We did better. Sorry, Jen.
I mean, if plan A always works, that'd be better.
True.
Yeah. Yeah.
All right.
I miss Jim. I really did
I
miss
know.
Jim.
It was, yeah.
So moving on, what could we improve? What do we have to work on? We're not there yet. So
We need to get a bigger generator.
okay.
Yeah.
It's not exactly a function of our team, but okay.
No, but that has been
But
an
it
issue.
affects the function of your team.
It does affect the function of the team. It really does.
All right. For background, I was told that I needed to get a 2400 generator to run our RV and air conditioning and everything. So me being me, I got the next size up, being a 2800 generator from a Honda generator, and it won't run. So any of you electrical wizards, reach out. Let us know what we're doing wrong. Something's wrong. It can't be that bad. All right. Highlight of the race weekend was Miss Vicki.
I'll let Jennifer go for this one.
Right.
Seeing Audra and Elizabeth so excited to go racing, that really was pretty amazing.
Yeah, I was concerned that our helmet was going to crack from Audra's smile, but
Oh my
I know they were so
eyes.
excited. I know
Their eyes
was
coming
great.
out of the truck was amazing. They were just, you could tell they were feeling it.
all I know is that Thompson should give a kickback to Audra because I think she had 1,000 people come. It was just like a parade of people. Just this is someone else I know, and I'm like, okay.
Yeah, well, we were in their area, so
I know. Low light, always a low light. Doesn't mean it was horrible. Just means it was a low light.
The plan B, golly, just the little things that were happening, like that happened before we even got on the road. Yeah, that was the low light.
Miss Vicki?
It just made things more difficult. That's all.
Yeah.
Not that they couldn't be done, not that they weren't done. It just, there wasn't a lot of relaxing.
No.
I was telling, Jim, I never really sat down and talked to anybody. I never had time to sit down and talk.
You weren't really in the garage.
I wasn't. And then, by the end of the day, I was exhausted. I was withered.
Yeah.
I was withered. I just went to bed. I was so tired.
We had baked Jennifer by the end of the day in our rolling shed. Miss Vicki, low light?
I would have to say the same. I would say that not having that RV there really hampered us a lot. It really, that was the mobile kitchen, and Jennifer knows it. So she was always piecemealing everything. And we started out late because of the RV situation. Yeah. Everything kind of just started stacking on top of that. So
I was doing 90. Any memorable cars that stick out from the weekend?
I still love that car with the lanterns on it.
Oh, this big old caddy.
Yeah.
The Lemontarians. Did you guys get to see the big smoky burnout they did right with Dale at Pit Out?
No.
So you know how Dale checks your harnesses and checks your driver's band and everything?
Yeah.
So right there, they just sat there and they just hammered the gas, and Dale was in this huge cloud of smoke with a big old smile. It was hilarious.
You know what? That caddy is fast.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah.
I mean, it is fast. I mean, it smoked me, and I'm really
that's not that hard. You were 87th fastest car there, sweetie.
But I'm saying is that they're really, really quick in the S's. I mean, whoever's driving that car knows what it can do. And I'm really surprised that it handles the way it does.
I just can't imagine how many brake pads they go through in a weekend.
Telling you.
I think it's got to be 6,000 pounds.
Yeah.
Okay. we usually end with the traditional good, bad, the ugly, and what did we learn? So good. What was good?
Audra. We just kind of did that. Audra was good.
Okay. All right.
Yeah.
Audra was good. Audra
Yeah,
and Elizabeth.
good.
Weather
both
was
of them.
excellent. I mean,
No,
we didn't
it was
have a
hot.
problem with weather. Well, it was hot, but it wasn't raining.
It didn't rain.
Because with rain comes, the foggy
Slippery
windows.
tracks.
And
Yeah.
I like racing
that
in
was
rain.
good.
So anyway,
Yeah.
bad. Besides, Bill can't do math. Sorry, Elizabeth. My bad.
Plan B.
Plan B.
Plan B.
All right. Anything ugly?
Having to do Plan B.
Okay. Generator.
Yeah, I would have to agree. Yeah, and generator.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And those were ugly. They were ugly.
Yeah, because that trailer got hot. And you know what was bad?
They were bad and
about it?
ugly.
Because Jennifer couldn't do the microwave without losing air conditioning. So she was stuck in that trailer as it was like 91 degrees trying to.
I didn't even tell you guys. I couldn't get the stove lit to cook the rice. So I had to go out and light the grill and put the pot on the grill.
I felt bad for Jen because I went in there and then poor Jacob in there. I mean, the kid just suffers in silence. He really does. And I'm like, it's cooler outside, Jacob. And he goes, that's fine. So he's sitting in there with like sweatpants on and he's just in that trailer, just soaking it in. And I'm just like, oh, okay. He goes, I'm fine.
I know.
I felt bad. We couldn't get a break from it.
No.
Little things.
Sat in the car for a
little
little
things.
bit. Yeah.
There's this thing
all
called
the little
shorts,
stuff.
and there's this thing called the outside.
Yeah, but I would have to say it was just a combination of all. Just the ugly was all the little things. Just
The little things. Yeah.
that kept piling on.
All right. Most important, what did we learn?
You need a generator.
Wow,
That girls don't get black flags.
Yeah.
Just like I said.
Yeah. I learned rotating the car, and I learned that getting the most out of my tires. And the other thing that I learned was that I fishtailed coming out of the S's, and I caught it, and now I know how to catch it. So the drifting, it's not so much drifting, but now that I have confidence in car control.
Good.
Yep.
Your time's dropped by 10 seconds.
Ooh.
Jennifer's time's dropped by 10 seconds. Through the weekend.
Wow.
What about the goals going in? Your goals were?
Not lifting.
Jennifer?
Not lifting.
Okay. Vicki, how did you do?
I don't know, because usually around that time I had to lift because traffic.
Bill knows.
I know exactly. The winner in the Don't Lift into Turn 1 contest of the Wilson sisters is
Jennifer.
Envelope, please. Jennifer.
Yeah.
Jennifer, you win the ability to do this again. Vicki, for coming in second place in the contest, you win the ability to do this again. So nicely done, ladies. Vicki got better. Jennifer pretty much solved it. Nicely done, Miss Jen.
Good job, Jen.
You had the high speed going into turn 1 of the weekend.
I
Yay.
did.
You did. You beat Vicki by 4. Count them. 4 miles an hour.
Ooh.
Wow.
Now you just got to get a handle on your wiggle.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, baby. All righty. We did not have any listener questions, so that's pretty much it for this quickie.
Mm-hmm.
Anything else? Anything about the weekend you guys want to talk about?
No.
No, I'm looking forward to hearing the ladies.
Me too. Yeah, me too.
It'll be fun. Can't wait to have them. Hopefully we'll get them on later this week or early next week. We'll see how the schedules go. So that's our quick Thompson 2021 wrap up. Ends our official racing season. We still have a few more HPDs to do. But that was fun. If you guys have any questions, write into our Gmail, garageheroesandtraining@gmail.com, or reach out to us on Instagram or Facebook. And we'd love to hear from you. Thank you, ladies. We'll talk to the rest of the ladies shortly.
Right.
Bye.
Bye.